Continue reading the chant.
Hare Krishna Bhagavatam, Canto 5, Chapter 18, Verse 26. Antarvahischa khila lokapalake adrishta rupo vicharasti vrusanaha sa ishwarastam yaidam vashenayan namna yatha darumayim narastriyam. Antaha, within, Bahi, without, Cha, also, Akhila Loka Palaka hai, by the leaders of the different planets, societies, kingdoms, and so on. Adrishta Rupaha, not seen, Vicharasi, you wonder. Uru, very great. Swanaha, whose sounds are Vedic mantras. Saha, he. Ishvara, the supreme controller. Tvam, you. Yaha, who. Idam, this. Vashe, under control. Anayat, has brought. Namna, by different names like Brahmana, Kshatriya, Vaishya, and Shudra. Yatha, exactly like. Darumayim, made of wood. Naraha, a man. Striyam, a dog. Translation and purport by His Divine Grace Sri A.C. Bhaktivedanta Swami Srila Prabhupada ki. Translation. My dear Lord, just as a puppeteer controls his dancing dolls and a husband controls his wife, your Lordship controls all the living entities in the universe, such as the Brahmanas, Kshatriyas, Vaishyas, and Shudras. Although you are in everyone's heart as the supreme witness and commander, and are outside everyone as well, the so called leaders of societies, communities, and countries cannot realize you. Only those who hear the vibration of the Vedic mantras can appreciate you. Please repeat. My dear Lord, just as a puppeteer controls his dancing dolls and a husband controls his wife, your Lordship controls all the living entities in the universe, such as the Brahmanas, Kshatriyas, Vaishyas, and Shudras. Although you are in everyone's heart as a supreme witness and commander, and are outside everyone as well, the so called leaders of societies, communities, and countries cannot realize you. Only those who hear the vibration of the Vedic mantras can appreciate you. Purport. The Supreme Personality of Godhead is Antarbahi, present within and without everything. One must overcome the delusion caused by the Lord's external energy and realize His presence both externally and internally. In Srimad Bhagavatam 1:8-19, Srimati Kunti Devi has explained that Krishna appears in this world nato natya dharo yatha, exactly like an actor dressed as a player. In Bhagavad Gita 1861, Krishna says, Ishvara sarva bhutanam hridesya Arjuna tishtati. The Supreme Lord is situated in everyone's heart, O Arjuna. The Lord is situated within everyone's heart and outside as well. Within the heart, He is the Super Soul, the incarnation, who acts as the advisor and witness. Yet, although God is residing within their heart, foolish people say, I cannot see God. Please show Him to me. Everyone is under the control of the Supreme Personality of Godhead, exactly like dancing dolls controlled by a puppeteer or a woman controlled by a husband. A woman is compared to a doll, Daru Mai, because she has no independence. She should always be controlled by a man. Still, due to false prestige, a class of women wants to remain independent. What to speak of women? All living entities are Prakriti, female. and therefore dependent on the Supreme Lord. As Krishna himself explains in Bhagavad Gita, Aparayam itastva anya prakritim vidhi me para. Bhagavad Gita 7:5. The living entity is never independent. Under all circumstances, he is dependent on the mercy of the Lord. The Lord creates the social division of human society, Brahmanas, Kshatriyas, Vaishyas, and Shudras, and ordains that they follow rules and regulations suited to their particular position. In this way, all members of society remain always under the Supreme Lord's control. Still, some people foolishly deny the existence of God. Self-realization means to understand one's subordinate position in relation to the Lord. When one is thus enlightened, he surrenders to the Supreme Personality of Godhead and is liberated from the clutches of the mental energy. In other words, unless one surrenders to the lotus feet of the Lord, the material energy in its many varieties will continue to control him. No one in the material world can deny that he is under control. The Supreme Lord Narayana, who is beyond this material existence, controls everyone. The following Vedic mantra confirms this point. Ekoha vai Narayana asit. Foolish persons think Narayana to be on the platform of ordinary material existence because they do not realize the natural constitutional position of the living entity. They concoct names like Daridra Narayana, Swami Narayana, or Mithya Narayana. However, Narayana is actually the supreme controller of everyone. This understanding is self-realization. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Jnanatimirandhasya Jnananjana Shalakaya Chakshurunmilitam Yena Tasmai Shri Guruve Namaha. Shri Chaitanya Manobhishtam Sthapitam Yena Bhutale Swayam Rupa Kadamahyam Dadati Swapadantikam. Vandeham Shri Guru Shri Yuta-padakamalam Shri Gurun Vaishnavam-scha Shri Rupam Sagrajatam Sahagana Raghunathanvitam Tam Sajivam Sadvaitam Savadhutam Parijana Sahitam Krishna Chaitanya Devam Shri Radha Krishna Pada Sahagana Lalita Shri Vishakhanvitamscha. He Krishna Karuna Sindho Dinabandho Jagatpate Gopesha Gopika Kanta Radha Kanta Namostate Tapta Kanchana Gaurangi Radhe Vrindavaneshwari Vrisavanu Sute Devi Pranamami Haripriye Vancha Kalpatarubhyascha Kripa Sindhubhya Evacha Patitanam Pavnebhyo Ashyabhe Namo Namaha. Namo Vishnu Padaya Krishna Prasthaya Bhutale Srimate Bhakti Vedanta Swaminiti Namine. Namaste Saraswati Deve Gauravani Pracharine Nirvisesha Shunyavadi Paschatya Deshatarine. Jai Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhar Srivastadi Gaur Bhakta Vrinda. Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare Hare.
So again, thank you so much for joining in our program, Srimad Bhagavatam class. So the residents of Ramkya Varsha, they are making the prayers. Just like we have, for those who are not familiar with the topic, we have got different, what is that, Varshas, you know. Like now here, this is Bharata Varsha, part of Jambudvip. Then you have, like here, we are hearing about Ram, I think is it? Previous verse. Ram Kya, is it? Next verse, before. The residents of,
Oh,
yeah. Now go up some. One more up. Ram Kya there. Ram Yaka
Ram.
Varsha. So this is another place that they are worshipping the Lord as Matsya Avatar. So today the topic is that the Lord is controlling everything. Right? Where in the Bhagavad Gita it says the Lord is controlling everything? Can anyone say? Huh? 18? 13:22. What is the verse? Huh? Hello? Come on. Prabhupada quote this verse so many times. Bhoktaram yagya tapasham sarva loke
529.
Yes? Yes? Yes or no? Hello? Yeah. 529, huh? Simple. I mean, this way you also learn, no? Yes? Of course, there are many verses that it says is the controller, but to make it easy, so you know he's the controller. Read the words, take out.
भोक्तराम यज्ञ तपसाम सर्वलोक महेश्वरम सूर्य सर्वभूतानां ज्ञात्वा मां शांतिं रक्षति. The sages, knowing me as the ultimate purpose of all sacrifices and austerities, the supreme lord of all planets and demigods, and the benefactor and well-wisher of all living entities, attain peace from the pangs of material miseries.
So if you know that Krishna is the enjoyer, the benefactor, the controller of everything, yes, and the well-wisher, then you become peaceful, right? But then he also says, if you don't accept that, then you will fall down. Where he says that? Where he says that? Now here he's saying, huh? What? What? Now you say, I am the controller. If you know this, you are very peaceful. Today's word, I am the one. I control everything like a puppeteer. Huh? I control the woman, a wife like a husband, right? Control. I'm the controller, right? So Krishna also said, if you don't accept that point, then what happens? No. 9:24.
1858.
9:24. Go. So here he says that I am the controller, I am the. No, you must go to 9:24 and then F4. Yeah, good. All right, chant.
Aham hi sarva yajnanam bhokta cha prabhur cha na tu mam abhijananti tattvinatascha vantite. I am the only enjoyer and master of all sacrifices. Therefore, those who do not recognize my true transcendental nature fall down.
Is that again? So today's word is say I am the controller, right? But if you don't recognize that, then you will. So the point is, again, not only this, he says that he created all these ashrams, no? Brahmana, Kshatriya, right? If any of these people don't accept my authority, they will also fall down. You know where he stated this? Where is this verse? 11? Oh, 11:5:3. See again, because it is in 647. You can go to 647 also, either way. So here again, see, the Lord is saying, 3.
3:2.
No, just next verse.
Oh.
11:5:3. Yeah, send the verse. Yeah.
Yesham purusham sakshat atma prabhavam ishwaram na bhajanti avajananti sthanadbhisthapatanti adha.
See that the Sanskrit, huh?
Sthanam.
No. Ya esham purusham sakshat. Yeah. So this word, Ya esham purusham sakshat, that means Purusha means he is the controller. Prakriti is to be controlled, material nature. Purusha is the controller. Sa esham purusham sakshat. I am the controller of everything. Atmam prabhavam ishwaram. Is it that? What is that?
The source of our creation.
Go to the translation. Translation. See that? So Atma Prabhavam means he is the source of all creation. See this point here? So anyone who read this.
Any members of the 4 Varnas and 4 Ashramas who fail to worship the personality of Godhead, the source of their own creation, or who intentionally disrespect Him, will fall down from their position into a hellish state of life.
The same point. Just now in the Bhagavad Gita, Krishna says, I am the authority. If you don't accept my authority, you will fall down. You understand? It's not just that I don't care, I do what I like. That's what? Consequence. That's what? You understand? You cannot say I will do my own thing. This doesn't work. You follow this point? That's why in the Bhagavad Gita, our famous verse 9:11, right? Fools, what? Deride my authority. Only what? Fools. Avajanante mam muda. So if you don't accept the authority of the Lord, then you are classified as a fool. Right? You understand? So you cannot deny the existence of the Lord and be thoroughly condemned. You understand? That's why even Lord Brahman said, if you don't accept the authority of the Lord, the form of the Lord, then you are condemned to hell. You know where's that verse? Quoted by Chaitanya Mahaprabhu also.
Kṛṣṇa.
It is 394. Because, I mean, this point, so many verses are there. See,
This present form, or any transcendental form, expanded by the Supreme Personality of Godhead, Sri Krishna, is equally auspicious for all the universes. Since you have manifested this eternal personal form on whom your devotees meditate, I offer respectful obeisances unto you. Those who are destined to be dispatched to the path of hell neglect your personal form because of speculating on material topics.
So those people who don't accept, who are those people who don't accept? Who? Who? Envious. Yes? But in the Gita, huh?
Yeah.
Four kinds of people, but actually more on the chapter 16. They say there is no controller, there is no God, there's no, everything is born out lust. Can you go there?
Demoniac.
8, 16, 7. So this is the class who don't accept the authority of God. You follow? He says the word here, Aniswara. That means there's no controller. You see the word? No, next one. Yes. You see this word here? Asatyam apratistaham te jagat ahur aniswaram.
Anish.
Iswara, Paramaha, Krishna. This one is Aniswara, means
No God.
there's no God. We don't care. You see this? You understand? I read this.
They say that this world is unreal, with no foundation, no God in control. They say it is produced of sex desire and has no cause other than lust.
So who is thinking like this? Who thinks like this? Who? Yes, the atheistic, the demonic. They think like this. There's no control. Why they think like this? Now the next question. You see, devotees are seeing so clearly that God, controller, everything. But why they cannot see? Why? They that's not there. Why they cannot see this thing? How they come to this kind of conclusion? And we are
Samavritam.
there. Come on. This is how you analyze, I'm trying to make you think, why? Lust, why? Huh? Pride, huh? Huh? Bewildered, not to the point. Because they are in the mode of excessive mode of sense gratification due to the mode of passion and ignorance. You understand? So when a person goes into the mode of passion and ignorance, then they become demonic. That's why Krishna also said, the very famous Uktaram, Bhogeshwara Taipaharta Vyavyasamika Buddhi Samadha na Vidyate. Excessive sense gratification make you become what? Conditioned to think like this. That's why Krishna says the mode of passion is the Kamahesha Krodha is the Rajagun. This is why it's so dangerous. Understand? Because if you enjoy your senses unrestrictedly, then you become bewildered. Correct? When you become bewildered, what happens? You commit sinful activities. And when you do a lot of sins, you cannot understand God. You understand? Then you reject because you want to enjoy the senses. And if you say, hey, don't do, you say, no, I don't accept. That's why they say, I don't believe, there's no God, I don't care. Because that give them the license to what?
Enjoy.
If we say, hey, you cannot do illicit sex, you cannot. That's why these things are like, especially meat eating, illicit sex, they must be restricted. I mean, you want to eat chapati 100 million also, no problem. Any restriction for that? If you want to drink water, any restriction? Drink gallons and gallons, but if you drink liquor, hello. There is that verse. What is that verse? What is that verse on this point? 11:5. Huh? Go there. So here, this verse, Prabhupada explained many times on this point. He says there is restriction. Suppose you want to have illicit sex, that's not allowed. Because sex life is very what? Huh?
Oh, 11.
It has to be restricted. So how the restriction? Therefore, there is marriage. Correct? We want to have sex, we have to get married. So here is this verse.
In this material world, the conditioned soul is always inclined to sex, meat eating, and intoxication. Therefore, religious scriptures never actually encourage such activities. Although the scriptural injunctions provide for sex through sacred marriage, for meat eating through sacrificial offerings, and for intoxication through the acceptance of ritual cups of wine, such ceremonies are meant for the ultimate purpose of renunciation.
So there's renunciation means what? Restriction. Yes. Because if you excessively do this, then it will what? Lead you to sinful activity. And once you commit sin, then you cannot go to, you cannot not possible. And it's a famous verse, those who are pasugana, vina pasugana, nirvittata se upagya man. That verse 10, 14, 10, 1, 10, 1, 4. So you see, I mean, we haven't finished this verse. Let me explain this a little bit more. Otherwise, So you see, there's control for sex life. There's control for meat eating, and there's control for intoxication. Actually, gambling also there's control. Right? There's regulatory body to manage all these things. Why? Because if you do these things excessively, then you are implicated sinfully. Right? And then you go above the principles of religious principles. Yes. And when you do sinful activities, then what will happen? Go to hell. Where is that? 16. Excessively enjoying the senses and doing sinful activities. This 16. So this is the result. You understand?
Thus, perplexed by various anxieties and bound by a network of illusions, they become too strongly attached to sense enjoyment and fall down into hell.
See that point here? That is, so see the consequence of not accepting the Lord. This will lead you to a downfall. See? So this is why they cannot see the supremacy of the Lord. Naham prakasha sarvasha
Yoga.
yogamaya samamsita. Because they get what? covered by. You see, you know how this happened? So 5:15 now. 5:16, I think. 5:16. This verse I quote many, many times. You know, this is what happens if you do sinful, I mean, sense gratification. Right? Can you read the translation?
Sanskrit. Due to ignorance, the materialistic person does not know anything about his real self-interest, the auspicious path in life. He is simply bound to material enjoyment by lusty desires, and all his plans are made for this purpose. For temporary sense gratification, such a person creates a society of envy, and due to this mentality, he plunges into the ocean of suffering. Such a foolish person does not even know about
You
this.
see that? In other words, if you go into sense gratification, your senses are all clouded, covered. You cannot see. You cannot. Pashyam atmi na pashyati. Although seeing, you cannot see. You understand? So this is the consequence of denying the existence of the Lord due to excessively enjoying sense gratification, particularly in the mode of passion, and that's why Krishna said, "This is your real enemy. This is your because if you deny the existence of the Lord, then the consequence is very, very drastic. As he says, those who are envious and mischievous, I cast them to lower and lower species where they will perpetually remain." You understand? So now coming to the other point now. So how to be remembering the Lord? Once now we understand this is other part is very dangerous. So now how to go this way now? How to remember the Lord constantly? How? Huh? Hmm? Huh? Yes.
Abhyasa yogena.
What?
8-7.
Practice. Practicing what?
Remember.
Huh? How? So the Lord explains, Bhaktya mam abhijanante yavan yasmin tattvaha. Only by
Okay.
that you can, what? What is that verse? 1855. 55 or 54? 55. See, only by devotional service. Yes, you have to practice, but you have to practice what? Devotional service. You see, now we are coming to another aspect. First, now we studied that how to go the other way. And now you have to go which way? Only by devotional service you can. What is that? Can you read this?
मध्यमामभिजानाति यावन्यश्चस्मि तत्त्वतः ततो मां तत्त्वतो ज्ञात्वा विशते तदनन्तरम्. One can understand me as I am, as the supreme personality of Godhead, only by devotional service. And when one is in full consciousness of me, by such devotion, he can enter into the kingdom of God.
So Krishna has very much summarized the process of how to understand his supremacy. How to understand it? Yes. If you, he said also, no. Devi ese gunamaya mama maya turatyaya mam eva prapadyante. So you can understand Krishna only by devotion. Is it clear? In fact, he also said in the 11th chapter, so you can see me as I am only by devotional service. You can accept or you can understand the supremacy of Krishna by the process of surrendering to him. Correct? Yes? That accepted? So now again, the how to surrender. The question, you say devotional service. All right, you also will tell me there are 9 processes of devotional service. Yes? Vishnu Smara, what is that? Shravanam, Kirtanam, Vishnu Smaranam. 9 processes. Yes? So how to go and do these things? Tell me, how you do these things? A question, everything is a question and answer. Right? So how? Because you are here, you must think, I can say, then you will listen, you finish. But if you can say, then you will remember that in your heart. Yes? Yes or no? So question, how to get this devotional service? You wake up for 4:30, you will get, then all train drivers, Calcutta, all train drivers will be devotees. Huh? All sheep workers, you sheep worker, you will be a pure devotee. Never sleep on. So how? Now again, you have to start thinking how to get this. How? How? How do you get this devotion? How? Surrendering to Guru. 22, 22, 51. Ah. So you see again, now we are going a step.
22.
Huh? We are going one more step. You understand? So you see how the whole thing is. Are you getting the idea? If you don't do this, you go the other way. If you do this, you have to go this step, that step. You understand? That's why Krishna said in the Gita, first you go and surrender to a Tadvidhi Pranipatena. First word, Prani, you must surrender. And then you must what? Huh? Submissively inquire. And then what you do after that? Go home and sleep. Huh? Oh, I know already. Okay. Bye bye, Prabhu. What is the next step?
Seva.
Seva. So 3 things are there. Correct? Yes. So you need firstly a devotee. Without devotee, devotional service is impossible. Read this one.
Unless one is favored by a pure devotee, one cannot attain the platform of devotional service. To say nothing of Krishna Bhakti, one cannot even be relieved from the bondage of material existence.
See that point here? Huh? Sadhu Sangha, Sadhu Sangha. Sarva Sastra hoy. Tava mantra Sadhu Sangha. Sarva Siddhi hoy. You see, to understand Krishna as the supreme controller, as the one who is, pulling the strings, you have to become a devotee. All right? And to become a devotee, you need the help of another devotee. You follow? Without the help of another devotee, then it is not possible to become a. That's not. Yeah. So it doesn't matter whether you have got piety or no piety, doesn't matter. This verse, I just Prabhupada was reading, Prabhupada quoted this verse, 4:31:10. 4:31:10. This whole chapter, actually, I wanted to discuss this whole chapter, devotional service, but this year, see, it doesn't mean, let's go to this verse, 4:31:10. You can see, go to the purport. 4:31:10. 10. Can you go down to the purport? You can see Chandala. Go down, Chandala. Yes. Chant this verse.
Chandalopi Dvija Shrestho Hari Bhakti Paranaya Hari Bhakti Vihinascha Dvijopi Swapajatha. Even if one is born in the family of a Chandala, if one engages in the devotional service of the Lord, he becomes the best of Brahmanas. But even a Brahmana who is devoid of devotional service is on the level of the lowest dog eater.
This verse, I mean, Prabhupada quoted this verse. I want to find out where is this verse. And then I saw it is in this part of the Bhagavatam. Because always we will quote so many other verses, but this verse, right? I don't think you saw this also, right? So you see how it doesn't matter what your background is, you know, but if you get the association of a devotee, then you become what? Top class. You become what? See, that's the power of the Chaitanya Mahaprabhu stressed that you have to go to a devotee. So if you want to know the supreme sign of this whole manifestation, that can only be revealed to you by a otherwise you will not be able to understand. I mean, I always quote this verse, no, 5, 3, 14. 5, 3, 14. I always quote this verse, no? Right? You see this verse here.
Dear Lord, unless one worships the lotus feet of great devotees, one will be conquered by the illusory energy, and his intelligence will be bewildered. Indeed, who has not been carried away by the waves of mental enjoyment, which are like poison, your illusory energy is uncomparable. No one can see the path of this mental energy or tell how it is working.
See that today's verse? Yes? No one can see or tell unless he take the shelter of a purity. Correct? See, that's why this movement means that you must surrender to a. If you forego that and try to go direct to God, then you cannot develop any good quality. You actually become a hypocrite. You know that? 11:3:26. Yeah, you see, this is not that you can, of course, we always quote the other verse. 11:31, I mean 11:28. But this verse,
One should have firm faith.
no, go down, purport, go down, Govinda. The verse Govinda there. Yeah. Okay. Can you chant this?
Harshayitva tu govindam tadiyanachayetutya nasa bhagavato geya kevalam dambikasmitaha. One who performs worship of Lord Govinda but fails to worship his devotees should be understood to be not a devotee of the Lord, but simply a victim of false pride.
Here it is translated as false pride, but Bhaktivinoda Thakur translates Dambika as a hypocrite. In Sanskrit, Dambika means also a hypocrite. That means you don't develop any good qualities. You understand? Of course, in the Bhagavad Gita, Krishna says, yeah, you come to me, come, but you actually cannot go to him without the help of a, not possible. And if you try to bypass that and do direct, then you develop what? Hypocritical qualities. You don't develop any good quality. That's why so many people who are without the help of a devotee, spiritual master, yes, they think that they are going, praying and chanting and all that. But if they fail to worship the devotee, then this is consequence. In fact, you will eventually hold on. You will what? You understand this point? You cannot try to do this whole program whimsically. Not possible. You understand this point? In fact, if you try to worship the Lord and reject the Guru, you will develop all kind of bad qualities. Can you go? 11, 3, 48. Go to the purport. Yeah. No. Above, just now. Yeah. One above more. Go down. Okay, here. This verse. 10.
Bodha kalushitastena Dauratmyam prakatikritam Gururyena parityakta Tena tyakta purahari. One pollutes his own intelligence and exhibits severe weakness of character when he rejects his own spiritual master. Indeed, such a person has already rejected the Supreme Lord. Hari.
So you see here. He gets what? What? Can you go on? One pollutes his own intelligence and exhibits severe weakness of character. You understand? You cannot go to Krishna directly without the help of a. You cannot develop all that good qualities. You understand? Now, if you another situation, if you go and accept someone who doesn't accept Krishna, then what's the position? I mean, they're both sides of the coin, no? Correct? You know where this was? I think it's 821. Bali Maharaj rejecting his guru. So now he's saying guru is important, right? Without guru, you cannot get Krishna. But here, Bali Maharaj rejecting guru. Why? I mean, all these points you must know. You must what? Why? Because I can say, oh, guru, I must have guru. And then you blindly accept some guru, then how? That's the problem now. There are many people who are parading as gurus, correct? Big, long beard, so many things, correct? Having Rasa Leela. I think our ISKCON is very popular for this. Correct? Can you go 821, I think? Go to the, go down. Go, no, 8, hello, 820 and tax 1. How in the Bhagavatam 821?
Oh, sorry.
Go down. Yes. So here in this verse, Prabhupada quoted this verse when Arjuna, he said, how can I kill my guru? How can I kill my Huh? My grandfather, do you know the Bhagavad Gita? Right? And Prabhupada quoted this verse. What is the meaning of this verse? Can you chant this verse?
Gururavya viluptasya karya akaryam ajnanatah utpata pratipanasya pratiyago vidhiyate.
Can you go up? Can you read this part?
Anyone who is supposed to be a guru but who goes against the principle of Vishnu Bhakti cannot be accepted as guru.
See that's wrong. A guru who goes against the principle of accepting Krishna as the supreme personality of Godhead, correct? And some more.
If one has falsely accepted such a guru, one should reject him.
See the point here. We have to accept a guru to go to Krishna. Correct? Without, but going direct to Krishna and not accepting, I already explained this. Now, if you go to guru who does not accept Krishna, that also is what? Do you understand? Hello? So here it says, can you guru ya abhiliptasya karya karanam ajana, he doesn't know what to do, what not to do. That means what? He does not know the scriptures. Karya akarya, what to do must be according to what?
Scripture.
That is in 16:24. Bhagavad Gita 16:24. One must know what is duty, what is not duty by the principle of the scriptures. Understand? If a person doesn't know, then he has to be rejected. He has to be what? See? Hello? I don't think we have time. No, we go like this everywhere we will go. So you remember this, 16, 20, you write down, you go. And then Utpata, Pratipanasya, deviated from the path of religion. That means what? Breaking principle. Breaking, enjoying sense gratification. That means what? The guru is what? Doing Rasa Lila. Having illicit sex, gambling, intoxication, whatnot. And he rejects the authority of Krishna. So such a guru, parityago. Parityago means what?
Reject.
You must reject. Can you read now?
Srila Jiva Goswami has advised that such a useless guru, a family priest acting as guru, should be given up, and that the proper bona fide guru should be accepted.
So now you understand that, of course, we always say that if you reject, if you cannot go to Krishna directly, but you must go through a guru. But the guru must be what? In line with, a guru must what? Be well versed in the scriptures. Right? If he does not speak the Shastra, then he should be rejected. In the same way, you cannot go to Krishna without a guru, a bona fide guru. Correct? You see? So how do we reconcile with this? Prabhu, I cannot use a torchlight and go and find are you a guru, are you a guru? Yeah? How do I do this? Tell me. Tell me. So therefore, this thing can be only provided to us by the mercy of the Lord. That's why the word Yesham ta antagata papam jananam punyakarim He dvandva moha nirmutta jante mam. Actually, before we even go to this verse, there's another verse. This is quoted by Chaitanya Maha 3:7:20. Bhagavad. He quoted this verse. Huh? Alpa tapasya. You understand? See, can you read this verse?
Durapahi alpa tapasa seva vaikuntra vartmasu yatropagiyate nityam deva devo janardana. Persons whose austerity is meager can hardly obtain the service of the pure devotees, progressing on the path back to kingdom of Godhead, the Vaikuntras. Pure devotees engage 100% in glorifying the Supreme Lord, who is the Lord of the demigods and the controller of all living entities.
So if you do not have this tapasya, it says here, persons whose austerity is meager can hardly obtain the service of the pure devotees. You understand this point? Huh? So this is not just one birth, two birth, thousands of births, millions of births where you have to do this austerity. Then you easily get the mercy of the Lord through the devotees. You understand? Because going back to 1 to 17, I think. Now 1 to 16. Through society. So when you go and take shelter of them, this devotee who are pure, then you get Vasudevekata and you get the taste for developing your devotions. Then everything gets revealed to you. Everything get what? That's why today's verse, by the Vedic mantras, you can understand this. Vedic mantra means what? What is the Vedic mantra? The devotee revealed to you how? By asking you to chant, right? What is that he asks you to chant? His glory. Huh? Chant what? Ah. So among all the mantras, the Maha Mantra is. So very quickly, if you chant with the help of the pure devotee, you will understand the supremacy of, right? That's why this verse, RD 773. RD 773. Very quickly, you will be able to see the lotus feet of the Lord. So you understand today how I have some or other, try to explain in a simple way how this whole process works. I mean, if you study this, I'm sure you will know how this flows. Yes, if you enter into the mode of passion and ignorance, I'm summarizing now. Then you will get into a consciousness which will become polluted. And you cannot see where you're going, what you're doing, everything. It becomes completely, you follow? So, but if you take up the process of doing austerity, you get connected to a proper guru, and then you get to learn devotional service, and then you very quickly be able to get the mercy of the. You see this verse here? 7, are you going? 773 RD. So it's not, of course,
Simply by chanting the holy name of Krishna, one can obtain freedom from material existence. Indeed, simply by chanting the Hare Krishna mantra, one will be able to see the lotus feet of the Lord.
See that? Just by chanting Hare Krishna, you'll be able to. But this Hare Krishna chanting must be coming through the bona fide. You understand? You cannot just say, oh, I heard Hare, I'll just do. After some time, you give up. You follow. So that has to be heard from a pure devotee of the. Then the whole process will be very fruitful. You'll be very quickly able to see the lotus feet of the. Or in other words, you'll be able to capture the Lord in your heart. Ramante yogi namante satyananda chidatma. Prabhupada this Prabhupada also quote this verse many times. You know. So by chanting, you'll be able to rally. So okay, you understand this picture now? Are you clear? I think very simple verses we have used today that you understand. Of course, there are many other things to go into this verse, but better to make it simple for you to that you also know what happens if I don't take up the process, how to take up the process, why I should take up the process, and what is the end result of it. Yes? So anybody has any questions before we? No questions. That means I passed my test. Yes. All right. Thank you. Thank you very much. Kṛṣṇ में भागवतम की no बात की no प्रेम नहीं. Was it okay?
It's unending flow of verses. I don't know from where you are bringing.
Basic verses all this.
There's always something.
He knows more verses than me.
Always something new coming up.
When I heard it, I was like, I said, how can I miss this? Prabhupada is, that's why he's spiritual master. Actually, I wanted to discuss the importance of devotional service by reading this whole 431, down. But I went to another way. This is all that they asked Narada. Because we are so much in the material life, we almost forgot all the instruction. Narada. And all the verses.